Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may now be seated.
Good morning, West Ranch, and welcome to today's show. Savannah, will you be voting in the local elections today?
Unfortunately not, because I'm under the age of 18, but in today's show we'll tell you how you can still share your voice here on campus, even if you're not eligible to vote for statewide elections.
We will also hear from one of our reporters on West Ranch TV's recent collaboration with SCB TV and COC, as well as a news update from our political correspondent.
We sure have a full show for you today, so stay tuned. I'm your anchor, Savannah Burrows.
And I'm Henny Greenwald. Today is November 6th, 2018, and you're watching West Ranch TV. The midterm elections are today, and a few of our West Ranch TV students collaborated with COC students to create awareness for the various propositions being voted on today. Our reporter Ananya had the chance to investigate Prop 2 and see how it affects our homeless community.
Prop 2 in California this year is a bond measure that will use some of the money allocated to help with mental illnesses to build housing for homeless people that have mental health issues. We had a chance to talk with a member of our community to see how the outcome of this proposal will affect California.
So if it passes, what they're hoping to do is, again, trying to coordinate a system of care to try and keep the mental health needs of, address the mental health needs of people who are homeless or chronically homeless.
Although there are many supporters, such as Habitat for Humanity, the Police Chiefs Association, the Firefighters Association, and League of Women Voters, there are also many people, such as a specific chapter of NAMI, the National Alliance of Mental Illness, who are against the proposal.
So what they're saying is, without addressing the barriers to construction of homeless shelters, it doesn't make sense necessarily to try and push for funding that's being used to treat mental illness to be put towards housing.
If Prop 2 goes through, the state will have permission to borrow $2 billion to build supportive housing, and although it will greatly help the homeless community, some believe the money should be used for mental health services. With this year's midterm election expected to have such a high turnout, it'll be interesting to see how California citizens vote. That's it for me. This has been Ananya Marotra reporting.
It'll be interesting to see if this proposition passes after today's election, but Prop 2 isn't the only issue that California voters should be informed about. We are now joined by Ananya to give us an update on our local elections. Ananya, what do you have for us?
That's right, Hannah. Here in the 25th Congressional District, Republican Steve Knight is running against Democrat Katie Hill, and a New York Times poll showed Knight ahead with a lead of 47 to 45%. However, with the race so neck and neck, it will be interesting to see the outcome later today. The Senate race is between two Democratic candidates, Dianne Feinstein and Kevin DeLeon. A UC Berkeley poll shows Feinstein ahead with a 9% lead. In the race for governor, Republican John Cox is running against Democrat Gavin Newsom, and a UC Berkeley poll shows Newsom ahead with an 18% lead. While it is important to vote for the candidate that you think will best represent you, it is also important to learn about the local propositions. Some of the more significant props this year include Prop 6, which would repeal the 2017 increases in gas taxes, and Prop 7, which would establish year-round daylight savings time in California. The proposals this year will directly affect our local community, so it is important to have your voice heard in today's elections. Our reporter Hannah had the chance to talk to students and faculty about the importance of voting.
So today is Election Day in America, so why do you think it's important to vote?
I think it's super important to vote because as the next generation, we kind of got to raise a country that we're proud of and make educated decisions on what we want our future to look like.
I'm very, very excited to vote. I think it's like one of the most important elections, and so with that, I could not be more proud and excited to do my civil duty.
In this year's election, I think it's important, as in any election, for new voters to vote, to get used to the process, and also to make sure their voices are heard.
It's important for everyone's voices, no matter who you are, to be out there and voting.
I think it's important to vote because not everybody gets to vote around the world, so just getting out there and getting your word out, it's not really a right, it's more of a privilege. So if you take advantage of that, you could get your word out there.
Well, obviously, voting is the most important thing you can do as a part of the democratic process. So, you got to get out there. It's too many times we see people complaining about things and the election not going their way, but if you don't vote, can you really complain?
Thanks, Hannah. The turnout for the midterm elections is expected to be extremely high as everyone is waiting to see if Republicans will keep control of the House or if we will see a blue wave.
That's right, Ananya. If you're not eligible to vote in the midterm elections, you have the chance to vote in our school's ASB elections.
Two officers from ASB to talk about how your voice matters today. Thanks, Savannah. Although we might not be old enough to vote in our local elections, our voice can be heard on campus with ASB elections. I'm here with Darren Eskandar and Nico Pittman, our new Executive Board President and Vice President. Nico, why should students vote in the election today?
Okay, so it's really important that students vote in the election today because you want to enforce your right to actually have a voice on campus. You're going to be choosing somebody that's going to be the representative for the next year and making really big decisions. So although me and Darren are running unopposed, the positions for treasurer, secretary, and ambassador are still in the works. So choose somebody that's the best candidate for the job.
And Darren, as our new executive board president, what are your goals for this upcoming school year?
So I want to make sure that everybody on this campus has a really positive high school experience because it's a really important part of our lives. And in doing so, I want to include as many people here on campus. And I just want to make sure that this environment is a really safe one where everybody can come here to enjoy their experience and just learn.
So speaking of upcoming activities, Nico, what does ASB have in store for us at brunch today?
Okay, today is Tacky Tourist, which means it's for our rally theme, so which means we're going to have a photo scavenger hunt. You have to find 3 hidden items and take a picture with them. The first is a safari hat, the second is a scarecrow, and the third is you taking a picture voting at the voting booth.
And the first 5 people to take a picture of these things get a free gift card, and the first 10 people get a free t-shirt.
All right, thank you so much for joining us. Be sure to come out to the Tacky Tourist activity today on the upper campus and be sure to cast your vote for executive board elections. Now let's take it back to the anchors.
Thanks, Katie. A representative from Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University will be on campus, so make sure to stop by the College and Career Center if you're interested.
In tomorrow's show, we will take a look at West Ranch, or at how West Ranch is teaming up with special needs students and making them feel more welcome here on campus.
We'll also get a sneak peek at our Veterans Day exhibit put on by our librarian. I'm your anchor, Hannah Greenwald.
And I'm Savannah Burrows. Thank you so much for tuning in.